Hello, this is Mr. Gregorich with Unit 2 Measurement, Lesson 5, Video 2. So in this video, we're going to look at a few more examples of dimensional analysis. So we looked at our first one, which was a one-step conversion. You need to have your purple sheet with this side and this side in order to do this, and a calculator. So if we look at our second example, here we're given 1.463 times 10 to the 5th millimeters. So I'm going to write down what's given. And then we're going to look for a unit multiplier between millimeters and yards. So we're going to look on our sheet. We're in length. And if we look, the only place that we have yards is this first one, and it's between yards and meters, not millimeters. But we can easily convert from millimeters to meters using this side, something that we've already learned. So our plan is we're going to go from millimeters to meters and then to yards. So we have to know how to go from millimeters to meters. So this is going to be a two-step conversion. If we use this sheet and look, milli to meters, meters is our base because that's one letter symbol, is 1, 2, 3 to the right on our number line. From meters to yards, we're going to use the multiplier, the unit multiplier that's on the back. 1 meter is equal to 1.0936 yards. So now we have our plan down. Now we have to execute it. So with this, if I need to move 3 to the right on the number line, I have to do what here? So if you forgot, you need to look here. If you move right on the line, we add the numbers. We moved actually left. I cannot tell my difference between right and left. So we moved 3 left on the number line, so we have to subtract. So that becomes 1.463 times 10 to the second meters. So that was my first thing, 3 to the left, to convert this. So this 5 minus 3 gives us our 2. Now I can use our conversion chart to go from meters to yards. So we have to look over here. Whatever unit we have here, we want to get rid of, so we put it in the bottom of our chart right here. And the number that goes with that is 1. So 1 meter is equal to 1.0936 yards. So now I would put this in my calculator, 1.463 times 10 to the second, times, because they're beside each other, 1.0936. Now to put numbers in scientific notation in calculators, do not, and I repeat, do not use the caret button. Do not use this button. These calculators and the graphing calculators have a button right here that says EE. That stands for times 10 to the. So in the calculator, I am going to put in 1.463. So you can see it, 1.463. I'm going to hit the second and then EE. And see how it puts a little E up there. And then I'm going to put the exponent, 2. That stands for 1.463 times 10 to the second. Then I can multiply that by 1.0936. And it gives me this number. Well, I know that I'm not going to write that whole number because we have to worry about significant figures. So this problem right here, our number that we're given, has 1, 2, 3, 4 significant figures. So if we look up here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 significant figures, but that 9 bumps that up to a 0, bumps that up to a 0, bumps that up to a 6. So we have 160.0. And then we have to put our unit, our meters cross out. We're left with yards, which is our answer. Let's look at example number 3 on the next page. This one looks a little bit different. Here we have a double unit. We want to know 55 miles per hour, how many kilometers per minute that is. Well, this one's a little bit more tricky. We have to convert two different things. So we're going to write down what we're given. 55 miles over 1 hour. That means that we're traveling 55 miles in 1 hour. So we have to change miles to kilometers. That's going to be our first thing, miles to kilometers. We already know that we have a conversion because that was in the first problem. 1 mile is equal to 1.6093 kilometers, or 1 kilometer is 0.62137 miles. Either one will work. But we also have to change hours to minutes. So we have to do both. So if we use 1 mile is equal to 1.6093 kilometers, there's one conversion. And our time conversion, you should know, but it's here. 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. Now we can set up our problem. So we're going to draw our chart like we did before. This one's a little bit different. We're going to change these one at a time. So the first thing we're going to do is change our miles to kilometers. So if miles are up in the top, we want miles to go down here so they cross off, one on top, one on bottom. So 1 mile is 1.6093 kilometers, km. That allows us to cross off our miles. If we stopped right here, our answer would be in kilometers per hour. But we want to get rid of the units of hours. They're in the bottom. So we're going to put our hours in the top over here so they cancel out. And the number associated with hour is 1. So 1 hour is 60 minutes. And see that our hours cross off. The units that we're left with are kilometers over minutes, which is what we want. But in our calculator, we're going to have to put this in one step at a time. Do yourself a favor. Every time that you do one operation, hit equals and then do the next. So in this one, I would do 55 times 1.6093, hit equals. They're across from one another. Then I'm going to divide that number by 60. So all I have to do in a calculator is divide by 60 and hit equals. And I get this number. We don't want to write that whole thing. We want to round it to significant figures. So we look here, we have two significant figures. So to get two significant figures here, we would round this to 1.5. So our answer is going to be 1.5 kilometers per minute. And there is our answer. Our last example is seconds to years. If we look at our time units here, we do not have anything between seconds and years. We have minutes and seconds, hours and minutes, days and hours, and years and days. So we're going to do a multiple step one. So our plan is going to be to go from seconds to minutes to days to years. So this is a 1, 2, 3-step conversion. So we need 3 unit multipliers. So 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. We have 60 minutes is equal to 1 hour. Oh, I forgot hours on here. Boy, I'm making all kinds of mistakes. So it's actually going to be a 4-step conversion. We have 24 hours is equal to 1 day, and we have 365 days is equal to 1 year. We're not going to worry about leap years or anything like that. So as always, we start with what we're given, 450 seconds. And this time we're going to have 4 steps. So the first thing we have to get rid of is seconds. So 60 seconds, 1 minute. I put the seconds and the 60 because those go together, put it in the bottom so our units cross out. Now I'm left with minutes. I want minutes to cross out and convert to hours. So there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. So now our minutes cross out. I want to get rid of hours. Well, the only thing I can go to from hours is days. So there are 24 hours in 1 day. Our hours cross off. And now I can go from days to years because I have a conversion factor. There are 365 days in 1 year. So my unit of days cross off. All of these numbers are down in the bottom, so we have to divide each time. So in our calculator, I would put in 450 divided by 60, hit equals. Divided by 60, hit equals. Divided by 24, hit equals. And divide by 365 and hit equals. And if you notice, I get a really small number. I can convert this into scientific notation using our calculator. So I can go up here, see second, and it says sci-eng. If I hit that second button and press that and use the arrow to highlight scientific notation, it puts it into scientific notation for me. So now I see that I have 1.4269 blah, blah, blah times 10 to the negative fifth. Well, if I go back to my original number that's given to me, I have 2 significant figures. So this would round to 1.4 times 10 to the negative fifth. 1.4 times 10 to the negative fifth years. That is my answer. Go ahead and try these 3 problems at your convenience, and then watch video number 3 for the answers.